disturbing accounts of how the anti-Hindu hate in Leicestershire is being whitewashed. I'll come to that story in just a few moments, but viewers, the big story coming out of the Supreme Court today. Viewers, the doyens of liberalism in this country have totally lost their perspective and complete balance on the question of what constitutes rights and freedoms. In their zeal to paint Muslims victims of repression in this country, they are now busy working to overturn the Karnataka High Court's very well considered judgment banning the donning of the hijab in government pre-university classrooms in Karnataka, which are essentially, viewers, secular spaces. So desperate are they to paint governments of BJP-ruled states like Karnataka, where the order first to comply with the dress code was passed in pre-university colleges, specifically in the classrooms of these pre-universities, that today an attempt is being made to willy-nilly cast them as repressors, that they have chosen now to glorify the hijab. Today, lawyer Dushyant Dave, who is a self-styled humanist, a leading light of the ecosystem, the Lutyens ecosystem, let me be very honest tonight, viewers, appearing for the appellants, asserted before the Supreme Court that, quote, the hijab is a symbol of dignity, women who wear it looked dignified, unquote. A symbol of dignity, and the women who wear it look dignified. No problem in the first part. It's the second part that has alarmed many, in particular women's rights activists. Indeed, the remark was criticized at many levels, first by rights activists who said that Mr. Dave was glorifying the hijab as a veil of morality and had given cause now to patriarchs and moral guardians to go after those women who didn't wear the hijab because, in their opinion, given that they weren't wearing this veil of dignity, they were essentially undignified women. In fact, if you extend the logic, Mr. Dave has armed patriarchs to shame women who don't cover their heads. In fact, viewers, he even went on to draw another analogy, saying that the hijab was a veil of dignity, much like the pallu of the sari is. So in his worldview, viewers, women who are not covering their head either with a pallu or hijab are, one supposes, not dignified. Another group of activists pointed out that Dave made the comment even as women in Iran, an Islamic state, had taken to the streets and social media to defy what they call was the imposition of a veil of repression, unquote, and male patriarchy. The irony of Dave's comments were not lost even on the justice of the Supreme Court, who observed that definition of dignity changes with time. But if you ask Iranian women, do they, on whom hijab is imposed, think of it as a mark of dignity? Well, 22-year-old Mahsa Amini was killed by the hijab police. Reason? There was a bit of hair showing under the hijab. Today, an elderly woman was shot in the head by the Iranian vice police. What was her fault? She dared to raise her voice in anti-hijab protests. For these women, hijab is certainly not a mark of dignity or a veil of dignity. It is now a noose of regression and repression that has, in fact, been the cause of their death. However, back home, the Muslim side lawyer Dushyant Dave contended that a hijab is a mark of dignity and respect. Here's how the judges and Solicitor General countered him. These are exact quotes from the arguments, viewers, in court. So Dushyant Dave says hijab is a symbol of dignity for women. The counter was provided by Justice Gupta, perhaps on the spot. Definition of dignity changes with time. How true is that, viewers? How true is that? Uniform, a great social, financial leveler, said Justice Gupta. Let's all observe the centrality of, I presume, the uniform in pre-university classrooms in Karnataka. Women rebelling against it in Islamic states, added Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General. Non-essential practices unprotected, Tushar Mehta, the SG, said. Now, viewers, there are those from the ecosystem who have echoed Dave. Perhaps they've been emboldened, I don't know, but listen in. Listen in to these remarks coming in from JDS leaders, from others.
इंदिरा गांधी के सर पे पल्लो है, प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया के सर पे पल्लो है, वो जो घूंघट उनके सर पे है वो भी क्या पीएफआई की साजिश है क्या? कुछ ना कुछ बोलते हैं आप। भाई भारत की संस्कृति है, सर पे पल्लो डालना, दुपट्टा डालना भारत की संस्कृति है, भारत का इतिहास है। कित्तूर चन्नम्मा के सर पे था, उसको तुम हिजाब बोलो, पल्लो बोलो, एक ही है।
There have been several instances in the past and several people who have justified hijab with the most regressive arguments, viewers. There are many who claim that, for example, the parda or the pallu is a sign of dignity. But viewers, when this is an enforced or becomes an enforced diktat, mostly from male patriarchs, then viewers, it leaves those that do not wish to wear it in a moral dilemma. They either own up to the fact that they're immoral and undignified, or they fall in line. Viewers, this is very, very sad. But sample some of these comments that have been made. The Muslim side plea in the Karnataka High Court. Quran says lower glances guard private parts. Quran says women shouldn't display their charms. That is why these people in the Karnataka High Court went out and said that the hijab is an integral part of Islam, which was of course struck down by the High Court after some very labored discussions on this subject. Saeed Noori, Raza Academy founder. Hijab ensures safety of Muslim women. This was another reason to justify the wearing of the hijab. Zamir Ahmed of the Congress said reason for high rape rate is lack of hijab. Hijab hides beauty as girls come of age. Priyanka Gandhi, Congress said women's right to wear a bikini or a hijab. It doesn't matter. You can wear what you want. In one essence, viewers, in one essence, she's right. Of course, you can go out there and wear what you want if you want to wear a hijab, etc. But what if, as the Solicitor General says, the hijab is imposed upon you by patriarchs, by hardliners, by Islamic fundamentalists who say that at the end of the day, if you don't don the hijab, you're a blasphemer. Omar Abdullah, wearing hijab is women's right to choose. This is what Omar Abdullah said, National Conference President. There are many such comments, viewers.